Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Queenie for those who don't know me, and although I am under the weather, I thought now would be a good time to bring back my Taste of Reality series where I talk about some hot topic things or things that I've been seeing on TikTok that have just been playing on my mind, so much so that I have to talk to somebody about it. And y'all know I love talking to y'all. I actually planned for this to be a live, but y'all know if I'm not in the best shape, I should not go on live. If you are a tried and true Queenie subscriber, you know what that means. So I decided to do a video. I'm actually filming this for the second time just because since I filmed it, stories have developed since then. So I wanted to give the story, well, one of the stories, just a well-rounded commentary on it, especially since it has been changing from day to day. So before I get into these topics, please make sure to like this video, subscribe and hit the bell, and leave a comment down below. So first, I wanted to talk about Tamar Braxton. So Tamar was doing an interview with Nene Leakes, and Nene was asking her about her time on The Real, and Tamar was basically saying she loves everybody but Lonnie. And some of the things that she said about Lonnie were very interesting to me.
Tamar did The Real. How many years did you do The Real?
3 seasons, I think.
I was asked to be on The Real, and I ended up not doing The Real, and they ended up casting Lonnie Love. And I remember so well talking to
I wish they would have told me.
You produced on there as well.
I did.
Wow,
I had a hand
Tamar.
in creating the show. That's why I'm saying I wish they would have told me that, because I wouldn't have cast Big Back Cadillac.
I'm finna get ready to leave. Do you have a say-so in the casting, or you really?
I had a lot of say so. I casted Tamara, and
Okay,
also
you did.
casted Adrian.
Okay, nice.
And Sally Ann casted Jenny Ma, and I'm assuming she casted Big Back Cadillac.
Yeah, okay. So, Big Bad Cadillac, I mean, not Big Bad Cadillac.
Big Back Cadillac.
I recently did the Oscars with Lonnie.
God.
So I also had,
She had kitten heels on.
and she was on that show as
Was
well.
she easy to work with?
You know, yeah.
She wanted to go on last.
She went on last.
Me and Tam are real close. Me and Adrian is real close. Her husband and I are real close. Yeah, I have a good. I haven't seen Jeannie. I would like to though.
You don't-
But I do know for certain that Big Back Cadillac had multiple meetings about me.
Really?
Yes.
To take you off the show.
Take me off of the show. She didn't understand why I had so much time off, although I was in the hospital fighting for my life.
So do you think somewhere down the road you and Lonnie will repair your relationship?
For what?
I mean,
What's
listen,
the relationship?
things happen.
Listen, let me tell you something. The relationship matters when it needs to matter. You know what I mean? When somebody's
Yeah.
supposed to have your back and they don't have your back, how we gonna go back? You let the public think that I was a problem, and you know you've never had a problem with me, and that's my issue. You know what I mean? Like, we never had a falling out. She was always welcome to my home, and and then she would get on the Breakfast Club and have a whole nother different conversation, and that's hurtful.
So Tamar, as we know, is a very boisterous woman. Nothing wrong with that. She's the more extroverted of the sisters. And so oftentimes she does say a lot of out-of-pocket things. We've kind of just gotten used to that. But it was interesting to me how she decided to say certain things about Lonnie on this interview, especially because during their time on the show, Tamar had such an issue with people making comments about her appearance. We know the issue with her being compared to a Muppet or Miss Piggy. That was a whole thing. If I can find a clip and not get copywritten for it, I'm gonna include it.
You know, when you say, Lonnie, you're just not gonna talk about, my girls. I know exactly what you're talking about because people say it so much. Sometimes I start to believe it. Saying that I look like a Muppet. But this person has the whole world calling me that.
So it was interesting to me how she now, years later, decides to come at somebody's physical appearance when that's something that has been very, like a very touchy subject for her. On top of that too, if Tamar really was part of the creative process for The Real, how the heck was she booted out of the show by somebody who was brought on? Like, that's something that confuses me. I'm not quite sure the inner workings on that whole situation, but yeah, I mean, is Lonnie Love everybody's favorite person? That doesn't seem to be the case. A lot of people seem to have some not so nice things to say about her, but I thought it was rich Coming from Tamar to make some disparaging comments about Lonnie's appearance, knowing how Tamar feels about people speaking about her own appearance. And honestly, listening back to the little snippets of the interview with Nene Leakes, I do understand Tamar's hurt. You know, you're going into a situation where you feel like you have formed a bond with somebody and then all of a sudden they turn on you wanting to boo you off of something that was initially supposed to be solely yours. And then they're letting the public run with the narrative that you are problematic, you are hard to work with, just, you know, allowing the rumor mill to really just put out falsities about you. I completely understand that. For me, it was just interesting to see how Tamar decided to handle this situation and go to making physical jabs, considering how she feels about people making physical jabs regarding herself. And on top of that too, they started to speak about Kandi Burruss after that. And we know that Tamar and Kandi have had issues for a long time, longer than she's even known Lonnie, but she handled that with more couth, let me say. Anyways, moving on. Speaking of talk shows, Jennifer Hudson. So Jennifer has been going viral lately, and it's not for the spirit tunnel. Don't get me wrong. The spirit tunnel is cute and all. Now, some of them are real cringe to me. I'm not going to lie. Outside of Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. And the comments for that were real cringe. But outside of that one and maybe a handful of others, I can't watch them too much. I don't know, something about the singing not being in sync, the clapping not being in sync, the person being stunned, not really knowing what to do in the tunnel. It always makes me feel awkward, but people eat it up. They eat it up. You don't mind what to do. You don't mind what to do. Turn it up like you do. You don't mind what to do. We just love you so much. You're our motivation. Congrats on your engagement. She is at J Hut. Go to the J Hut show. Make it say ah, and you already know. Ooh, yeah. It's getting hot in here, 'cause Bert is at J Hut. He is walking the hall. He might take his shirt off. It's getting hot in here, 'cause Bert is at J Hut. He is walking the hall. He might take his shirt off. Now you're going right now? She's gonna need what? They are here. What? Got the cameras rolling 'cause they are here. What is going down? What are they around? What? She's gonna need. They know how to get down. What up, Iola? What up, Anthony? What up, Mercedes? What up, Christopher? What up, Anthony? What up, Sabrina? What up, Jay? Spiritano, Spiritano, Spiritano. We gon' take it down. So recently, she hasn't been going viral because of the spirit tunnel. She's been going viral because of her interview style. And I'm not going to lie to you, I cannot blame the internet for wanting to ask now, how the heck did Jennifer Hudson get a daytime television talk show? The most recent clip that I saw was Jennifer talking to Kesha, and Kesha was talking about how she actually was on the set of Dreamgirls. As we know, Jennifer Hudson was on Dreamgirls, and there was nary a question asked besides, really?
I was an extra on Dreamgirls
What? Really?
for like $120.
I love
For
you.
16 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no offense, I hated it. Big auditorium downtown LA.
Yes. Yes.
She didn't say, oh, well, how did you find yourself being an extra on the movie? How did you enjoy your experience? Is that something that you did post Dreamgirls? Would you ever get into acting? There were so many questions that she could have asked. So many. She asked none. And so people have been wondering, like, does Jennifer actually know how to interview? I don't think that she does. Let me amend that, because as the interview went on, there were questions asked, but it's almost like if something goes off script, Jennifer doesn't really know how to pivot. And that's not a skill that everybody can have, but I'm assuming if you are the only person hosting the show, you gotta be able to roll with the punches. You gotta be able to maybe bring the conversation back to the main interview. But this, like, what? Really? Wow. Ha ha ha. It can't fly. And so between Drew Barrymore being all up in everybody's bosom and Jennifer Hudson not really knowing how to have an engaging conversation on the couch, always pulling out that mic, don't get me wrong, she has a beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. But is this a talk show or is this karaoke? I don't know. I don't really know. I haven't seen a full episode, so I will admit to having that ignorance. I have it actually queued up on my TV. I have all the episodes saved. I haven't had the will to watch even one. Not a single one. But yeah, Jennifer Hudson is not hitting the way that people thought that she would. But actually, did people think that the show would hit? Y'all let me know if you thought the Jennifer Hudson show would be a smash hit. I don't know that I had any expectations, but I love Jennifer, so I was like, okay, I'll tune in. I obviously did not, but I miss the days. Don't crucify me. I miss the days of Wendy Williams. I'm so sorry. I do. The way Wendy would be eating things up in 2025. The 2025 hot topics have been insane. And I've been trying so hard to steer clear of those things. Like me personally, I don't like my peace to be disturbed. And seeing the whole Tory Lanez situation, Chris Brown defending him and then immediately going to prison. Or being detained. Sorry. You got the Diddy trial and Cassie doing her testifying and stuff. Shannon Sharp with his nasty ass. Oh Lord, it's just been too much for me. So I probably would have watched if Wendy Williams was doing the coverage, but I feel like whether you like her form of, conducting her show or not, she knew how to keep her audience engaged. She knew how to actually give an interview, maybe throw in some jabs in there, uncouth as it may be, it was at least entertaining. Jennifer Hudson, mama, I'm gonna need something else. Truly. There was a guest recently on the Jennifer Hudson show that kind of sparked my interest to want to talk about, and it's Miss Shirley. If you're not sure who Miss Shirley is, she is a 4-year-old girl who went viral on TikTok. Her real name is Lariah, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to refer to her as Lariah. I used to follow Lariah's page because oh my gosh, she's so cute. So cute, her dances, all that stuff, I was thoroughly entertained. And then Boots on the Ground came out and she was dancing to that song and it was cute, it went viral. We started seeing her go to these events and stuff and it was like, oh, okay. And then her exposure was just increasing by the day. And now people have been concerned. A lot of people have been speaking out, fathers, mothers, childless people like me, even Francesca has spoken out. So I want to include some clips of those.
What the hell going on with Lil Shirley? No, I ain't gonna call her Miss Shirley because she's a baby. She's a kid. She's a child. Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you see my eyes? Probably not because of the shower. But what I'm saying is, the red dress video, what the is that? I want to know, what is the mama trying to do? Is the mama trying to pimp her out? Who's the mama? Where the mama at for Lil Shirley? Because this right here is getting ridiculous. I just seen a video with Lil Shirley in a red dress. Johnny Gill playing in the background. Y'all know the 80s, 90s, Johnny Gill. Playing in the background, talking about the red dress, put on your high heels. Here she is trying to put her foot in her mama high heels. And then she got the nerve to be trying to put on lipstick. I don't care if it's lip gloss, I don't care. Then put the little baby on the wig. Yeah, the little baby in the red grown folks dress with the wig on. Is the mama trying to pimp a dog? What are you doing?
Now, I will admit, I'm a little bit conflicted about the red dress video because I too used to play in my mom's stuff, playing her clothes, playing her makeup, all kinds of things. But because of the trend that's been happening with Miss Shirley, maybe it's best that her mom doesn't keep perpetuating this adultification of little Lariah.
Hi, this video is for Lariah's mom, also known as Miss Shirley. If you're not Lariah's mom, you can keep scrolling or you can stay. Hi, my name is Francesca. I am a TV writer, I'm an actress, I'm a content creator. Like so many people on this app, I've fallen in love with your daughter. She is so adorable and so talented. But I wanted to reach out because myself and many others are concerned about the way that Lariah's presence has exploded on social media. I saw her on the Jennifer Hudson show recently, which is incredible. As we know, as you get more exposure and more opportunities, there are downsides as well. And I wanted to hopefully try and give you an alternative perspective and also offer some solutions. While I don't have kids, I have worked in kids programming as an actress on the show Helpsters on Apple Plus, which was produced by Sesame Street. I was also a writer on the Disney Channel's Holiday House Party and Halloween House Party. And then I've also worked with child actors as a writer and a producer when I worked on the iCarly reboot for Paramount Plus. Now, I know there's been a lot of criticism and misinformation that have been spreading about Lariah, and I want to address that up front because I can absolutely understand why that's been concerning to you and off-putting. This idea that you started an OnlyFans page has been circulating, and after doing some research, I found that it was actually a Facebook fan page that was labeled OnlyFan page. And as you know, the internet latches onto something and it kind of spirals into its own thing. And now people have been saying that you started an OnlyFans page. And again, I understand why that's probably been really upsetting for you to hear repeated. That said, I did see that Lariah has a Facebook fan page with about 500,000 followers on it, and she's almost at 1 million followers here on TikTok, which is a huge accomplishment. One thing that I noticed is a lot of your videos have millions of views, but they also have hundreds of thousands and sometimes millions of saves, meaning that people are saving or downloading the video so that they can watch it later. And that's where my concern comes in, because you don't know what those people are doing with that content. And unfortunately, there are programs available that let people manipulate content of children in inappropriate ways. Something I've seen a lot of people say is, well, if you are thinking inappropriate things are going to happen to this child, that's on you, you're a weirdo. And I understand the impulse to, see the best in people and not assume the worst. But again, when you have numbers that are reaching into the millions, it just takes one person. It's the idea of if you are reaching into a barrel of M&Ms and there's one in there that's poisonous, it's a risk. I've also seen that Lariah is doing meet and greets, and some of the locations aren't exactly child-friendly, including bars. And I've seen a number of videos with adults, including grown men, picking her up. Again, I understand not wanting to assume the worst, but I hope you can understand why myself and so many others are concerned, and especially considering I do work in entertainment, and I've heard, unfortunately, too many stories from former child actors talking about being taken advantage of by people that they never expected it from. Those are situations that I would just never want your daughter to be in, and I'm sure you don't want that as well. That said, your daughter is very talented and adorable, and if a career in entertainment is what she and you hope for her, I absolutely believe that that can be possible. Some things that I would encourage you to think about is possible collaborations with someone like a Miss Rachel or a Gracie's Corner, things that are specifically designed for children rather than catering to adults. I understand the impulse to strike while the iron is hot, but luckily Lariah is very young and very talented and has a long life and hopefully a long career ahead of her if that is what's right for the both of you. And so I just want to encourage you to let her enjoy the time of being a kid and not have to worry about performing or the confusion that might come along with adults calling her a name that's different from her own. Also, making sure that you're able to vet the opportunities that are coming in for her to set her up for success in the future. So I just want to let you know that my DMs are open if you want to reach out to me or you need advice or help navigating any of the incoming opportunities. I'd be more than happy to help or point you in the right direction if possible.
So personally, I think the reason why a lot of people are now concerned about Lariah is because it's one thing to, let your kid play around, whatever. We've all been kids before. You hear a song, you love it, you dance. However, when you have your child, your 4-year-old, basically on tour, you have strangers picking her up, you have her available for bookings, you have these big fan pages, and there was this rhetoric going around that she did have an OnlyFans, which was insane, even though the OnlyFans platform was literally for fans, but then it turned into a platform for sex workers. It was just insane to put Miss Shirley and OnlyFans in the same sentence. That was just crazy. But even on top of that, too, the fact that she's called Miss Shirley as a 4-year-old is wild. Like, her name is Lariah. And so why are we adultifying her, especially because she's doing some adult dances? I really love what Francesca said, basically saying you could do partnerships that are on platforms catered for children. Because where the issue lies is catering your content for adults. And so the mom has been getting a lot of criticism. A lot of people have spoken up about their discomfort about seeing what's been going on with Lariah. And the Miss Shirley page actually posted a response.
Where them haters at? Where them haters at? Where them haters hit one time? I'm gonna keep on stepping, baby. I'm finna keep on stepping.
I mean, listen, at the end of the day, this family's going to do whatever they want to do. I saw one of the concerns being whether or not Lariah does have a Kougan account. I wanted to just read the definition of a Kougan account just for people who didn't know what it is. The quick definition is just money being set aside for a child so that they can have access to it when they are older and they're not just being exploited by their parents. But according to Google, a Kougan account is a trust account designated to protect earnings of child performers, often actors, musicians, or social media influencers until they reach adulthood. It's also known as a blocked Kougan trust account. How it works: legal requirement in California, New York, Louisiana, Illinois, and New Mexico, a portion of the child's performance earnings, which is typically 15%, must be placed in a Kougan account. For the trustee, a parent or legal guardian, the truster sets up the account with a bank, credit union, or brokerage firm, which acts as the trustee. The beneficiary. The child performer, the beneficiary, is the legal owner of the funds. Protection. The trustee manages the funds according to strict investment guidelines, and the child cannot access the money until they reach the age of majority, usually 18. And then lastly, financial security. The Kougan account aims to prevent parents or other parties from squandering the child's earnings before they have the opportunity to make their own financial decisions. So nobody has heard any confirmation that Lariah's mother has set up a Kougan account or something similar to that. I mean, I don't think that we would ever be privy to that kind of information, but it would be nice to know that that's something that is happening, especially because she is 4 years old and she is being worked, honey. People are saying that at some of these bookings, she's not really smiling. She's not as happy as she seems to be on social media. I can't attest to that. I haven't been there. I don't know what she looks like, but the thing that was really triggering for me personally was the fact that when I was young, trigger warning, I was violated, right? And a part of the reason why I couldn't speak up about being violated was because culturally, I am African. I was born in Africa. Culturally, you let adults touch, hug, whatever. Problem is, at some point, because there is this respect for elders, respect for authority, you can't differentiate, or let me speak for myself, I couldn't differentiate what was an appropriate touch or hug and what was an inappropriate touch or hug. And so there was somebody who actually was affiliated with my church growing up who had started with inappropriate hugs. Well, actually it started appropriate, then it became inappropriate, then it became inappropriate touching, and eventually I was violated at 14 years old. And I'm thinking, as somebody who is 4 years old, being raised in the limelight, being passed around, being held by grown people she doesn't know, I think that it is very dangerous. I think that it could play into her psyche, just thinking that, hey, my mom let me go with anybody, so this should be fine. Like, we just don't know how this is playing on her mental. So obviously she's a child, so she's enjoying it. It seems as if she's enjoying her time, but if there's, something not so delightful happening behind the scenes, I definitely hope that somebody's able to intervene. And I hope that people in their circle are saying something as well, because it can't just be the internet aunties and uncles who have an issue. I'm sure some family member has raised concerns with the mom. It seems right now that the mom doesn't care, but I hope at some point there is some wake up moment. And for people who think that it's not an issue, I think everything can be seen as a non-issue until it becomes an issue. So I would prefer if things were handled preemptively, because you don't want to work at finding justice retroactively. If we can prevent anything from happening, let's do that, especially where kids are concerned. So those are the thoughts that I had on these hot topics. You guys let me know what else has been going on in social media that you would like to talk about. And let me know your thoughts on the 3 things that I touched on in this episode. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Oh, also, because I wanted to go live, but I obviously can't because I'm sick, I think I should be good by next week, hopefully. So live on Mondays, we'll be back prayerfully. So y'all better pray that I get better. And if I do get better, I'll be back on live, because it's been a long periodically time since I've spoken with you guys, and I would love to do that again. So definitely stay tuned for that, and I will see you in the next one.